Hi, hello! I'm Fable and welcome to my channel. Before we start talking about the meat of the video today, I want to clear the air on a few things. One is that obviously this is a Speedpaint video. It's a little different than the other kinds of videos I've had on my channel. My last video was also a Speedpaint video and didn't do too well, but I'm not going to chalk it up to that. I'm going to chalk it up to the fact I spent 19 minutes talking about Roger Kefley, among other reasons of course, but being a small YouTuber is about the wins and the losses, so I'm still figuring out what I really want to do with this channel and the kinds of content I want to put out there. But ultimately, it's going to be stuff that I enjoy and what I think you guys might enjoy as well, and it's all just kind of a guessing game. But please, I really do appreciate feedback, and if you prefer gameplay commentary, or if you prefer speed paints, or if it doesn't really make a difference to you, or if you prefer when I talk about more internet culture, or whatever the case, just let me know, because I only have 8 and this is the 9th video on this channel, so I don't 100% know what direction to go in. At the end of the day, I want to make content I enjoy, but I also want to make content that the audience I've acquired so far will also enjoy. So please, if you have any shred of interest at all, just leave a comment or let me know. Secondly, I want to address that the topic of today's video is something that occurred on TikTok. Now, TikTok is kind of the biggest social platform right now. You're either on it or you're not. I have been an on and off user of TikTok, but it's hard to deny that a lot of YouTube drama that's talked about today circulates from TikTok. Like, there are commentary channels dedicated just to talking about drama that occurs on TikTok, but they're YouTubers. Personally, yeah, I do think that TikTok is very vapid and it has a ton of stupid trends to come out of it, a lot of misinformation, and a lot of just general nonsense that the average person might roll their eyes over. It's also just highly unfiltered, and the comment sections on there can be straight up fucking brutal. It's easy to chalk it up to it just being kids and teenagers that are more malicious, but there's hive minds of even adults with the worst vindictiveness going after others. And today, unfortunately, our story circulates around one of those situations. Spider-Man remains one of the most beloved heroes, with the 2018 and 2023 films Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. There's a consistent theme of a multiverse, in which endless versions of Spider-Man exist across endless dimensions. Thus has come the trend of fans making their own Spider-Sonas. Now, making OCs or original characters is nothing new on the internet. The rise of Spider-Man OCs has been nothing short of interesting to watch, where people come up with their own unique ideas, costumes, powers, and dynamics for their OC. Specifically with the 2023 release of Across the Spider-Verse, this has been a very big trend on TikTok. In addition, AI art has been a major player for a certain group of Spider-Man OC makers, and it has its own discussion with the ethics and dilemmas of AI art. But that's not where our focus lies today. Amongst all other OCs to come into play, there was Pastel Spider, created by Nomura Drakestone. Looking at Pastel Spider, she has traits of a typical Spider-Man OC. A suit branded with the iconic webs and spider designs, and a mask with the expressive yet solid colored eyes. Nomura definitely understood the assignments on both the designs and story aspects, and through videos on Pastel Spider's story, it's easy to pick up that the creator understands and respects Spider-Man lore. Here's the thing, Pastel Spider is plus size, and that's absolutely not an issue. But if you've been a patron of the internet for more than a millisecond, you might understand why that's caused problems. The number one thing I've seen not only in the TikTok comments, but any crevice of the internet talking about the situation is about Pastel Spider being plus size, or comments directly related to her weight. Oh my god, people have bodies of all shapes and sizes, and not every iteration of Spider-Man is gonna look like a carbon copy of Gwen or Miles Morales? Color me shocked. So obviously there's levels of fat phobia at play. People just really like to harass others for something that is obviously there. It's not really under the surface level of a flaw in their character or who they are. It's just straight up picking on their appearance. But I think why it got to such an extreme level of hate is while it is on TikTok and it has that ability to spread really far and fast, it's also an OC related to the Spider-Man franchise. And I think that tugs at people's emotions a little more because it's a franchise they like and enjoy. So people with inherent fat phobia are gonna be like, oh, a plus-sized spider person? No, 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 we can't have that. One extremely arrogant argument I've heard is, how are the webs going to hold her up as when she's web slinging or using her webs to any degree? And all I have to say to that is, are you fucking dense? Did you watch the movie? Aside from there being several examples of thick or plus-size spider people, there's fucking Miguel, who's pure muscle and has no issue with his webs, but webs hold buildings and cars. It's fucking fiction. Use your imagination. Why would there only be limits when it comes to one person's OC? Anyway, the whole gist of Spider-Man is that anyone can wear the mask. Anyone. That's why this situation is especially disheartening. And I assure you, Nomura's OC is not the only spider person to be plus sized, but they're just the one that got the virality and the hate for their design. And that's it. Nomura, through their videos, hasn't shown to be a hostile or arrogant or rude person whatsoever. The hate was purely because of the design. And essentially, it got to a point where the harassment was so overwhelming and people took it way too far. Enough was enough. Nomura announced their departure from TikTok and deleted their account in late September 2023.
Hey everyone, it's Nomura. And not Pastel Spider Nomura. Actual Nomura. The creator. The person. I'm speaking to you like this because I want this to reach as many of my followers as possible within my time limit. Figured this was the best way to do it. I'm quitting TikTok. In 2 weeks, I'm going to delete my account and, possibly, never return. I've tried to tough it out, tried to withstand the fat phobia, withstand the hate, withstand people telling me to end my life. But I just can't do it anymore. It's affecting my real life in ways I didn't realize until someone pointed out that I've been spicier than normal lately. It hasn't been all bad though. My art has improved immensely since I started. Chris Anka, one of the official Spider-Verse designers, gave my Sona the thumbs up. And I met someone on here who's rapidly become one of my closest friends. I wouldn't have met him without this app. There are many more things I wish to say, retorts I want to give, but I want to keep this short. For those who have defended me, and yes, I've seen you, thank you. If any mutuals wish to maintain contact, let me know. I'll give you my Discord information. Just know I'm not much of a talker. For those that have harassed me, I hope every paper you pick up gives you a paper cut. Goodbye, TikTok. I quit.
It was a genuinely respectful exit, and they still hold social media accounts, just no longer on TikTok. Mostly their Twitter has seemed to be obsessing over Baldur's Gate 3, and you know what? I'm happy for them for that. So I guess, in conclusion, what can be done in situations like these? I'm not gonna say defending against hate comments is a great idea, or feeding the trolls, so to speak, but if beefing is your thing, sometimes when people are rude, you have to be rude back. Does it make a great internet environment? No, but if only the hateful, rude voices are being spoken and there's nobody shutting it down, then that just enables them further to think it's okay. What I do think though is supporting the creator directly is a much better idea, because even in an ocean of support, an island of hate can really stand out, though in this case it was more like an ocean of hate and an island of love, because Nomura did receive a lot of defenders and support, but it ultimately was not enough. Though again, they haven't left the internet for good and their socials are still active, so if you want to support them past this situation, I highly encourage you to do so. The last thing I will say on this case is that Nomura is genuinely talented, and just their general art style I really do admire. The thing is, oftentimes, especially with art, critics aren't even artists themselves. I doubt many of those haters even had an ounce of that talent that Nomura has for art. But all in all, even though leaving TikTok could be seen as not quite a happy ending, the fact that Nomura has not completely quit art, the fact that they're still going is a win. Nomura is very strong and I do applaud them for that. But this did just highlight a nasty aspect of intolerance and how people can just be rude for seemingly no reason, other than somebody dared to do something different.
Even back then, that was covered from head to toe. Like, if Captain America, you still have this much of his face. Spider-Man's completely enveloped in his costume.
Oh, you know the good thing about that?
Yes.
You could be any kid.
Yeah.
You could be black, you could be Asian, you
Right.
could be Indian, you could
Right.
be anything, and imagine you were in that costume.
Right.
So I think that made it relevant to everybody everywhere.